Hi, how are you? I'm David Eggers. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of my series. I'm super excited you're here. Let me just do a quick introduction of myself. I live in New Jersey. I am married. I've got two kids. I've had a theater career almost my whole life, it seems. And in 2005, I joined this industry and I've been part of it ever since. I love it. I'm super excited to share with you some really good people who are doing network marketing. And today's guest is awesome. Just a real quick thing before we get into our guest today, I just want to throw a couple things your way. You know, network marketing is becoming so mainstream that seems like more and more people are getting involved, really good people. Seems like everybody's life is going to be touched by network marketing in some form or fashion at some point. And just a few statistics, which I think are really incredible, are in 2016, there were almost 21 million people involved in the industry, and that created almost $36 billion in product sales. So the industry is growing every year. Those numbers are going up. And in today's episode, I am honored to speak with Larry Rogowsky. He is a Tony Award-winning producer, and he's also a top leader, top earner in MarketAmericaShop.com. He's fantastic. He's one of the good people that I've met along the way. In fact, we were trying to figure out how it was that we met. It may have been that we were both looking at opportunities at the same time back in 2005 or shortly thereafter, and also I know our paths have crossed many times over the years since then. So anyway, that's enough of me. Let's say hello to our guest. Hi, Larry.
Hey, David.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Thanks for making time for this. I really appreciate it. So Larry, I'm going to let you do most of the talking. I'm just going to throw some questions your way. I think your story is awesome, and I would just love to hear what you have to say about your whole experience. First of all, before we dive into the company itself and your experience there, who are you? Where do you live? Do you have a family? What does your spouse do? Tell us about who you are first.
Okay, so hey guys. So I live in the Boogie Down Bronx, or Riverdale, which is not really the Boogie Down Bronx, but so yeah, New York City. I've been here for a long time. I grew up in White Plains, and I've lived in this all over the city. I even made a little jaunt out to Jersey, believe it or not, David. I don't think you knew that. We lived out there for about a year and a half, but we landed back up in Riverdale in New York City, and we've been here now for about 15 years. So I'm married, and I have a 6-year-old son and a 15-year-old dog, and My husband is in the theater business, as I am as well, but in addition to what I do with network marketing. But his name is Drew, and we met actually at a show when he was performing in it, and I was his dresser because that's what I did in between gigs. And we met 19 years ago. So he's incredible, huge support. We got a good thing going.
That's awesome. That's great. So now, I know it was a long time ago, right? How many years ago was it that you got involved with network marketing in your company?
So it's been 12 years now.
12 years. Okay, that says a lot about the company you chose and your loyalty and the longevity. That's really, really impressive. So reach back for me, if you will, to those 12 years ago and tell me a little bit about what your life was like when that was first being introduced to you. And you don't have to go into names if you don't want to, but how did you learn about it, or who introduced you? What was life like? What made you open to even taking a step in this direction?
Well, it's kind of a funny story, actually. So like I said before, I was an actor for a really long time, and then I became a licensed massage therapist when I was 27 years old, and I'm 45 now. And
you look fantastic, by the way.
Well, thank you. I started a practice in New York City. I was at 49th and 9th, and I catered actually to a lot of the Broadway community, dancers, athletes, that sort of thing, for many years. And I built my practice up where I was seeing about 20, sometimes 25 clients a week. So for any massage therapist or anybody who works physically like that, you'll get this. Like that was a lot of work, and I was tired. I couldn't really do anything else, you know. The money was great and all that, but quite frankly, I just couldn't see doing it for a long time or the rest of my life for sure. So I was started to look at like how can I have some other streams of revenue as part of my practice. And just as part of my life. And I thought, well, what do I know? I thought, oh, maybe real estate, maybe the stock market. But I thought, the stock market's very risky. And real estate, you have to have a huge chunk of money to put down. So product sales seemed like a really organic next step for me for my practice. I mean, as a licensed health professional, it made sense. So I started looking at different companies, seeing what was out there. And at that time, when I was sort of looking and curious, I was actually online to go see a show 12 years ago. And it was in previews. It was The Drowsy Chaperone. So I remember it very, very clearly.
Great show.
Yes, great show. And wait, were you in that show?
No, I wasn't in it.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I just
Okay.
loved it.
Okay, yeah, me too. Anyway, so I was online and I happened to run into an old friend, and he turned to me and he said, "Hey, Larry, how's your practice going and everything?" And he had just gotten started with Market America 2 weeks before he ran into me. So he had very good timing. And he said, "Look, there's something you might be interested in. It has to deal with, there's a whole health and wellness division." I said, "Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, let me check it out." And he said, "There's going to be a presentation at my apartment in a few nights by a good friend and someone that I knew and I really respected. I thought she was really smart. She had a lot of success in a lot of areas in life." And I thought, yeah, I'll come. So anyway, I showed up about 15 minutes late, and I walked in, and and there was a guy in the front of the room talking about weight loss and weight loss programs. And by the way, I was in the middle of a program called IIN, Institute for Integrative Nutrition, to become a health coach at the time.
Yeah, it's very popular.
So I was kind of a health snob, like a wellness snob. And I walked in and I was like, what is going on here? So I was a little put off, honestly, when I first walked in. And then the woman I was talking about before, she started speaking and started talking about multiple streams of income and why it's important to create leverage, to build leverage. And then I really woke up and I thought, wow, this is interesting. And then I couldn't get enough. I really dove in, and I had no experience in the network marketing industry. I had no baggage around it either, which was kind of great. So I just tore through all the materials, and then I looked at the products, because for me as a licensed health professional, I had to be sure that products were science-based. I was going to feel good about recommending them to my clients, and that, if my name was going to be behind something, I had a reputation at this point, so I had to protect that. So that's how I started, really. And I just started, moving products through my practice and to people in my life, and it took off from there.
That's awesome. So it was a new concept for you. You saw it with crossed arms, which is kind of how I first looked at the industry as well, to be honest with you. And I think that's pretty common. A lot of people are, skeptical because, I don't know, human nature, something about human nature. We all seem to be skeptical at first, but you saw enough in there that you saw an opportunity. Clearly, it sounds like you saw an opportunity first, and then you started checking all the boxes by making sure the products were sound and so forth. That's awesome. So why? So I think I already know this question, but so you decided to join because all of those things were checked off, and then how did you start out? I mean, you had a practice that already existed. So did you bring the products in? Did you start talking to your clients? I mean, like, what was the next part of the process for you in those early days?
So yeah, when I first partnered with the company, first and foremost, I just started using the products myself right away, because I think that's the key. I had to have belief in them and know. And with Market America, it's a product brokerage company, so it's very diverse. So there's a health and wellness line. There's also a division specifically for licensed health professionals called Nutrimetrics. So that was really interesting to me, that I could have an exclusive brand that was only for licensed health pros. So I started using them, and I brought them into my practice, and it was really organic for me. I mean, I really my clients asked me questions about health all the time, and they also knew that I had this nutrition training. So some of my clients called me doctor, which was really weird. And I was like, I'm not your doctor. Please don't call me doctor. But so there's one line it's called isotonics, that's within the Market America brands, and it's a powder that you mix with water, so it's a drinkable supplement. And there's a lot of different multivitamin there's vitamin D, there's antioxidants, all sorts of stuff. So I would just give my clients a shot of that after their session before I gave them a glass of water. And the question everybody would ask is, what's that? And that would just start a conversation. So it was a really easy way to get people interested. And then they got benefit, of course, from the product, and they became a customer, and then they told people about it. And then that led to other things like, some business partnerships and on and on.
Great. Oh, that's great. So,
Yeah.
so for 12 years, has your company looked like that? Like, has that been the method of operation this whole time, or have things evolved?
It's definitely evolved. I mean, that's really how it started for me. It's so interesting because so this company's got like there's $1 million club, and there's over 400 people in it, and it's there's thousands and thousands of unfranchised owners, which is what we're known as, UFOs, and they're all different kinds of people build it, and most of them are not professionals. I happen to be a professional, so I had a lot of people think, oh, you had a leg up. In a sense, yeah, but it's so much more, and this, David, it's so much more about focus, determination, and being able to be open to possibility, and not to be, to get one rejection and then give up, because I think anything in life is that. We know this as parents, of course.
And as actors, previous, performers too, right?
Oh. That's like the best training to build this business. And it's funny that building my business with network marketing has really allowed me to have skills for a lot of other areas in my life. The personal growth is tremendous. But so it looked like that when I started out, but then it really started to expand, and it became more about sharing it with other people and having other people really define their goals and the things that they want in their life, their why they want to grow an extra source of income, or have a plan B, or just have a new career, whatever it is, and then helping them to realize that. And that became much more exciting. And then working within the Nutrimetrics division, I'm able to do that with doctors. So I work with a lot of physicians and to help them to implement this into their practice. And that takes it to a whole different level, which is really cool.
I can imagine. No, I love that you said that, because my next question was going to be, how has your involvement with this company impacted? Well, let's divide this question into two. How has it impacted you and your family first, and then I want to talk about how it's impacted other people. So let's talk about you a little bit more. I want to know,
Sure.
If you hadn't been brave and open to looking at what this opportunity was, and who knows what your life would look like right now, right? But how has it added to your life over the last 12 years, or wherever, where you are right now?
Well, I think my hands would have fallen off if I kept working like I was working, quite frankly. There had to be a change somehow. If it wasn't this, it would have been something else. This happens to be the vehicle that I chose. I'm glad I did, because it's been really phenomenal. Here's the tricky thing when you're building a business like this. Your first year, you're going to make the least amount of money, and you're going to do the most amount of work. And I think that's really hard for people, and it's a hard concept. And I think that's a lot of people don't expect. So I like to set people up powerfully and let them know that, because
that's really smart. That's really smart.
Yeah. And it's so true, because the first year I made a few $1,000s. It wasn't like I made nothing, but it certainly wasn't enough to, give up my clientele. But what happened was, in about 3.5 years, it flipped. And it flipped sooner than that, but it flipped by 3.5 years that I was able to retire my massage practice. I replaced my income. So, my mentor always said to me, for every time, we start getting, the first commission is a $300 commission, and then it turns into $600 and then $900 and $1,200. But even the first $300 commission, she said to me, wow, that's 3 massages you didn't have to do this week, huh? And that was really eye-opening for me, because then it became very real, because a lot of times, you talk about dollars and, you can make millions or whatever it is, and you can make a lot of money, but it's that first $300 that's so defining. Like, wow, that made a huge difference. Even though it seems kind of small, it can make a really huge difference, because 3 less massages a week for me was saving my hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So So it impacted me in that way. And of course, it impacted my family in the sense of, so we adopted our son almost 7 years ago now, he's 6.5. And, I was able to turn into a full-time parent, really parent the way that I want to parent and not have to run out because I have to work or leave town because I need to take this job or this gig or whatever. So it was really pretty great in that sense. It provides a lot of freedom.
That's awesome. That's really great. So it's adding to the quality of life that you are experiencing now. And it's really, I love that you touched on the fact that in the beginning, it's the most work and the least amount of money. Because I think a lot of people have a misconception that they're going to get into this industry and it's going to change everything immediately. And it's not like that. It's not like winning the lottery. I think it's really good to set expectations for people that, it is an industry that can change your whole trajectories, try saying that fast, of your life for the better, but it's work. It's also work, especially in the beginning. And I
think a lot of people don't present it that way, which can be challenging.
Right.
And I think there's some misrepresentation is what it is. And the reason for that, it makes sense. There's a very low point of entry. You can really start a business like this. I mean, for me specifically, it's $400 to get started. Like it's not, for some people that's a lot of money, and others it's like, oh, that's lunch, who cares? So because of that, almost anybody can do it, which is great, but almost anybody can do it, which is not great, So it's like you learn to get selective after a while of who you partner with. And I always am clear with people, like I want to get people's goals before I work with them. I want to find out, are they willing to do what it's going to take to make it happen? Because especially 12 years later, I don't want to waste my time or their time. And I've wasted a lot of time over the years with people who waste my time. And,
interesting. Yeah.
We're not kids anymore. It's like time. It's like, I see it now. Like life is short. I mean, it's long in a lot of ways, but it's also short. And who we spend our time with, to me, that's everything in life.
That's awesome. That's really great. So talk about other people. How has you stepping into this industry and sticking with it through the beginning and whatnot, and being on this path that you're on now, how has your involvement impacted other people? Now, I know some of it you said is that you were able to add more quality to the services that you were initially offering your clients and so forth. But talk about some of the other people's lives that have been impacted by you and by this company.
Yeah, so it's a lot of people. I have some incredible friends that I didn't know before. I love partnering with people that I don't know, quite frankly. I'm not one to, like my friends and my family, like I have to see my family at holidays. I don't really want to be in business with them. I have to be honest. Now, a lot of them, of course, once you have some success, they're like, well, what are you doing? What are you up to? I want to do that. So I would caution anybody to be careful around that. I think the first instinct is, oh, I want to talk to my mom or my sister about this, or my brother, or my best friend. I would always caution people to like talk to people you don't know. Like, go out and make new friends. I think that's the best. I've seen some miraculous things happen in my organization. Some people who started out and I thought, oh, I don't know about them. I don't think they're going to make it. And I really thought that. And they've turned out to be the most successful in my business. And some people I thought, oh my goodness, they're going to totally change. My life is going to change. They're going to be the next top money earner. And they crash and burn for whatever reason. So I never want to assume, but there's a few in particular that I've watched. I mean, just unbelievable stories of, a couple of single mothers that I have in my organization. They're doing it, they have a huge why, their kids, and, they're doing it on their own, and they have such fire and such drive that, and watching them grow and make it happen is like, to me, it's much more fulfilling than me. I earn a lot in commissions, which is great, and it's changed my life, but seeing them do it, it's such karmic income. I don't know. It's
I love that.
Good.
Oh, that's a great way to put it. Karmic income, because, a lot of people don't realize that this is a way to, of course, people get in because it's because they want to make money, right? But what they don't realize is maybe they don't realize in the beginning is how fulfilling a journey it can become, not just because of how you personally will change, but also because of how you get to invest in other people and how rewarding that can be. I mean, this is a industry that rewards you for helping other people. Yes? Would you agree?
Totally. And that's what I mean, that's kind of my MO. That was before I even did this. And it's amazing that I wasn't, I was 33 when I started this, and that I didn't find it sooner. I probably would have poo-pooed it earlier because I wasn't ready for it, to be honest. But it really, this sort of paying it forward is in my DNA. So, and I love people. I love building relationships. So to me, it's like there's possibility around every corner. And it's like endless chips in a casino. And for the right people, it's magic. And it's not right for everybody. I'm clear on that. I've gotten clearer as time's gone by. I'm sure you have as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But man, for the right people, it's heaven. And it's like we just do it together, and we run up the hill together, and we all succeed when we all succeed.
That is fantastic. Now, if you've got a couple more minutes, I'd like to ask you just to speak briefly about the personal development or the personal growth portion of your experience, because I think that is one of the most surprising things for people, is that that sort of is a hidden gem with this industry, that those who really stick with it and want to grow a business and want to, really do something significant, it often takes them through a journey of some kind. So can you talk a little bit about the personal growth aspect from your experience?
It's humbled me, for sure. The things I thought I knew, I didn't, which is amazing. And I know I feel like every day there's something new to learn. And every day there's a little bit of there's a success, and then there's a disappointment. And that's just the balance, I think. So for me, that's been the biggest growth, is being okay with it and knowing like, okay, this too shall pass. And tomorrow's going to be the new day, and it's going to could be better or worse than who knows. But it's really changed a lot of things in that way. And then I see, personal growth in other people. Oh, I mean, the confidence that people get when they have, when they start this, and or they don't have a lot of confidence at first, I should say. And then the confidence they build, I feel like people could take on anything when they take this on and build it and go for it and knock down the walls. It really changes a lot. I'll say for me personally, again, this is something we haven't talked about yet, but I'm also a Broadway producer. And I started doing that just over 3 years ago. And I have to say, so much of it I owe to what I built with marketamericashop.com. First of all, the income it provides me allows me the time. I don't have to have a full-time job. So it allows me to go and produce shows, because some win, some lose. It's, you never know. But I'm also not afraid. I can pick up the phone and call anybody. This has prepared me for any of that. I'll call the biggest director or actor or set designer, whatever it is, and it's just like a great conversation, because this has prepared me to just be able to talk to anyone that I'd like to talk to.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So that kind of blows my mind, because you were a performer, you got your practice going. You said at one point you were also a dresser in theater, and now you're a producer. And that journey right there alone, I mean, wow, that's amazing.
Well, I had a great moment, actually. It was at the opening of, there was a show that I was involved with called Disaster that opened 2.5 years ago. And my husband actually was the co-creator along with the other creators of the show. And it was my first Broadway producing role. And I was at opening night in my, tuxedo, and it was very exciting and first time. And somebody came up to me who knew me as a massage therapist and said, "Oh, are you the massage therapist on the show?" And she's, by the way, she's lovely and didn't mean it in any
of course, but
just she knew me as a massage therapist. And I said, "Actually, no, I'm a producer." And she nearly fell over. It was such a great moment of like, I think about it like all these different chapters in my life that have happened, and things build on each other. And I feel like I'm just getting going. I mean, it's getting good.
That is awesome. Wow. Well, let's wrap it there. Is there anything else that you would like to say about the industry and network marketing? What do you wish people knew maybe about it that maybe they don't know?
I think there's something I'd like to say. Yeah. There's a lot of preconceived notions out there. I think there's a lot of people have had a lot of not so great experiences. I liken it to, I've heard people say to me, "Oh, I don't like to get massage." And to me, I'm like, what massage? Are you crazy? It's because I had a bad experience having a massage. You know what I mean? So even if you've had a not, or you know someone who had a not so good experience, and you have an opportunity. I always say, when you have an opportunity for something, look at it. Nothing hurts to look. See what it is, because it could literally change your life, and I would hate to see anybody throw an opportunity away in that sense. So be open, look at things. Just because you're looking at something doesn't mean you're married to it. You know, you're not going to marry the first person that you date typically. So check it out, you know, ask the hard questions. If, you know, also, if someone says, oh, it's easy, you'll get rich quick, all that, run screaming out of the room. But if someone is honest and upfront with you and will lay it out to you and answer your questions clearly and look you in the eye, that's something smart to look at.
That's great. I love it. Well, with that being said, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I know you guys are off on a vacation real soon, which is fantastic, living the life, right? So Larry, I cannot thank you enough for sharing your story and your experiences and your take on this industry. And congratulations to you on all of your success. And I mean, it's filling your life, right? I mean, it isn't just you know, that you get to be a Broadway producer, but you've got a really fantastic business that came from your openness and from your willingness to work, and from your commitment and loyalty to Market America and shop.com. And I'm just so happy that you shared some of this with us today.
Thanks, David. Thank you for having me. You're so great.
Oh,
I really appreciate it.
Back at you. So have a great day, and I'll be putting this out for people to enjoy your words. Thank you so much.
Right on. Bye, everybody.